of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. It's a day game as we wrap up the brief two-game set from Miller Park. Cardinals looking for a sweep. The St. Louis Cardinals, Milwaukee Brewers in Game 2. A look at the Central standings with the loss last night. Milwaukee dropping to 3.5 back. The Cardinals stay 5 back. And St. Louis 5.5 games out in the wild card. Last night, Luke Voigt tied his career high, driving in 4 RBIs. It was the young guys. Paul DeYoung 2 for 5. He drove in 3. And Luke Weaver, back-to-back starts with 10 strikeouts. San Diego, and last night against Milwaukee in the win. Jim Hayes is here. I'm Dan McLaughlin. That's the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. And welcome to Cardinals baseball. The Cardinals wake up this morning, Al, and they've made a big deal with Mike Leake.
Yeah, Mike Leake, who second year of a 5-year, $80 million contract, is no longer with the Cardinals. He was traded to Seattle. Real key right here is it clears space for a starter, one of the young starters, possibly for next year to move into the rotation.
So Mike Leake now a member of the Seattle Mariners. Matt Carpenter, big home run for so many reasons last night. We'll talk about that before our first pitch. That's well hit. How about 10 grand off the bat of Carpenter? He said earlier, for every home run he hits, $10,000 donated to those suffering in Texas. You can help as well. People affected by Hurricane Harvey, visit redcross.org. Text the word Harvey to 90999. By doing that, you make a $10 donation. Your donation enables the Red Cross to prepare for, respond to, and help people recover from this disaster. Carp is in the lineup. It's game number 2. And baseball is coming up from Miller Park in Milwaukee. Brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. By Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. The Art Museum here in Milwaukee. It's a beautiful day. The roof is open here at Miller Park. And the Cardinals looking for a 2-game sweep. Chase Anderson, his Hyundai pitch arsenal, 19th start of the year, 3rd this year against the Cardinals. Last start was on Friday. He went 5 innings. That was a loss to the Dodgers. The Dodgers, by the way, have not had a 4-game losing skid all year. That may happen tonight against Arizona. Think about that. The longest losing streak, 3 games this year by LA.
And of course, we'd like to see them beat Arizona because they're ahead of the Cardinals in the wild card.
And the first pitch taken high by Carpenter, and we're underway. Matt has homered in back-to-back games, number 18 last night. Actually said he was nervous getting into the batter's box last night. He told Jim Hayes afterwards it was his most meaningful home run he's ever hit, as he has vowed to donate $10,000 to the hurricane victims, the flood victims in Texas. 10 grand for each home run. Cardinals have matched that along with Adam Wainwright. The 2-1 pitch. Now time is called.
It's like Chase Anderson got something in his eye. This is Anderson's 3rd start since coming off the disabled list. He missed about 7 weeks with a oblique strain.
Pitch taken high, 3-1. feels like fall. Fall in the air. 78 degrees here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, we were commenting last couple innings last night how it really cooled off, but one of the prettiest days you'll ever find in any month up here.
3-2 on Carpenter. Cardinals averaging over 6 runs a game on the road in August. Hasn't been a great road team. Streaky has been the better way to put it. And a leadoff walk. The 87th walk for Carpenter this year. That's second most in the National League. Carpenter at the top of the lineup, then Tommy Pham, Paul DeJong, Dexter Fowler, Yadier Molina, Colton Wong, Luke Voit, Randall Grichuk, and Carlos Martinez.
Walks were a big part of the Cardinal victory last night, and hopefully he can jump out on top.
And there's ball 1 to Tommy Pham. Pham now one of 9 players with an average that's above 300, on base percentage over 400, and slugging 500. It's an exclusive list. I mean, you think about the kind of season that he's having, historic in some ways, but he, along with Joey Votto, Paul Goldschmidt, Charlie Blackmon, Jose Altuve, Rendon and Harper of Washington, and Justin Turner, Tommy Pham, with that slash line. That's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. Talked about in spring training, make or break year for him. Then he didn't make the team out of spring training, and now to see what he's done. In many ways, I think you could say the MVP of the Cardinals.
No doubt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Many of the players did not know about the trade of Mike Leake until they were watching MLB Network in the clubhouse. There's 2 buses that go from the team hotel to the ballpark. Leake usually on that second bus, wasn't on it. Players got on their phones, started calling Mike, trying to figure out what's going on, and he has been traded to Seattle if you just joined us. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Pham. Deep left, track, wall, and the lead. 2-0 Cardinals. Tommy Pham, number 18. He's on a tear here in 2017.
That's what you need to do right there. Establish that lead before your starter even takes the mound. But Tommy Pham extends his hitting streak to 7 games. Talk about the power that he possesses. Also the speed. He's really come into his own this year. 10th home run allowed by Anderson. Up and in, really muscles it and lines it into the second deck.
RBIs 56 and 57 for Pham. And a ball to Paul DeJong. So pitching behind in the first 3 hitters. DeJong last night went 2 for 5, drove in 3. And he has driven in 52 on the year, leads the Cardinals in home runs with 20. 1 ball and 1 strike.
So hard to pitch at the big league level now for various reasons, but when you're pitching behind in the count, you're just asking for trouble.
Here's a 1-1. It was the 16th multi-hit game for Paul DeJong last night. Already second most on the club, as he's been up and down 2 different times with the Cardinals. He's reached base safely in 20 of his last 23 and has taken over the everyday job at shortstop for the Cardinals. 2-1 pitch. Shadows at some point today do become a factor in day games with the roof open here at this ballpark.
Pretty much a factor just about in every ballpark now when you get late in the season.
DeJong skies one. Shallow left. Sogard the shortstop today. And he makes the catch for the first out. The Brewers defensively with Braun in left, Perez in center, Santana in right. Walker, Sogard, VR, and Thames on the infield. Stephen Voigt is behind the plate. Got a couple of injuries with their catchers. Manny Pena banged up his knee, and then Jet Bandy is out with a cracked rib. So Voigt takes over behind the plate today. Here's Dexter Fowler. It's fouled back. Dexter hitting .379 in the month of August. That's third best in the National League.
Young lady just below us reached up with her glove, tried to make the play, but it bounced off her head.
Put a glove on that head. Is she all right?
Yeah, she's fine.
I didn't see it.
Right here with the glove, and she retrieved it for her son.
Nice. 1-2 on Fowler. He's been batting cleanup, and this being the 16th game for Dexter in that cleanup spot. .380, 14 RBIs he has produced.
He's acting like a cleanup hitter, hasn't he?
Last night he didn't run like one, I know that.
No.
Fielder's choice and turned that into 2 RBIs for Luke Voigt.
Twice he scored from second base. One was on a hit by Voigt. The other one, as you said, a ground out that was in front of him. He scored from second base.
1-2, fouled back. This is it last night. Fowler, your runner at second base, routine ground ball. Reads the play and comes around to score. Gave this club some energy at that time of the game, too.
Yeah, isn't that pretty to watch something like that? And that's the aggressive base running that Mike Matheny has talked about all spring.
Here's a 1-2. Spoiled. Dexter pointing over to the dugout. Heads up over there. Inside. Chase Anderson is on a good run. 12-4 over his last 30 starts dating back to last season. And they talk about pitching inside being a factor as well as his curveball. There's a swing and a miss. Strikeout, first of the afternoon for Anderson.
Anyway, Anderson, he's never beaten the Cardinals. You see the off-speed pitch down and away, good location on it. But this will be his 8th career start against the Cardinals. Good ERA, 270, but he's 0-2. He's failed to beat them. Years past, you know, he's kind of always wanted to have something in reserve, and he realized, hey, I'm not getting past the 5th inning anyway, so go ahead and let it go.
And a strike to Yadier Molina. Dealt with a abdominal issue last night against the Cardinals. 7 starts, no wins, as Al mentioned. Carson Kelly made the start last night at his first ever multi-hit game. That was his 6th start of the year. Molina leads the Cardinals in hits with 118, and all catchers in baseball with 118 hits. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
One thing the Cardinals are doing in this first inning is getting that pitch count up.
27 already. Here's a 1-2. Little check swing. Anderson steps and throws and makes the play. A leadoff walk to Carpenter. The home run for Tommy Pham, his 18th of the year. RBIs 56 and 57. Tommy knew it. Cardinals on top 2-0. When you look at all the numbers, put it in perspective, he's in the top 10 in the National League in ERA, strikeouts, innings pitched, opponent's average, quality starts. This will be his 27th start of the year, and he's got a record of 10-9.
That's the part that doesn't really register with the numbers, that how well he's performed, particularly against right-handed batters. The fact that he's one of the better ground ball pitchers, has allowed a lot of home runs, and should have a better record.
Eric Sogard at the top of the lineup, followed by Eric Thames and then Ryan Braun here in the first. Neil Walker, Domingo Santana, Stephen Vogt, Jonathan Villar, switch hitter, Hernan Perez, and Chase Anderson. Sogard missed all of last year with a knee injury. Very versatile player. 48th start today. He's played second base. He's had short this afternoon, third base, and left field. So you say, why is that record the way it is for Martinez? One, you could look at run support, and the other aspect of it is first innings. Ground ball that's hit to Colton Wong. First innings have been an issue for him, and then after that, nearly unhittable. Cardinals defensively this afternoon. Tommy Pham in left, Fowler in center. Rando Grichuk is in right. Carpenter, DeYoung, Wong, and Voigt on the infield, and Yadier Molina is behind the plate. Eric Thames, a home run last night, number 28. That's strike one. Also struck out 3 times, and he has 140 of those this season.
He had a rough road trip.
0-2.
Has had success against Carlos. 3 for 7, double and home run.
We said at the time, will the league figure him out? In April, he had 11 home runs. He scored 28 runs. And the league has figured him out. He's slowed down. He was asked the other day about all the testing that he's gone through when he gets on a hot streak for PEDs, and he's very upfront and honest about it. He said, I was tested so much earlier in the season, and I hate having to explain myself that I'm a clean player, but I know if I get hot again, the testing will come. That's it out of play.
Actually, early in the season, when he was doing so much damage, Cardinal pitchers really did a good job of containing him. But it's been lately where he's really swung the bat well against Cardinal pitching.
Here's a 1-2. The slider down. A lot of change-ups to the lefties, the slider to the righties. Great counsel there, Pat Murphy in the background. Strikeout of Eric Thames. First of the afternoon for Carlos. Take a look at our Toyota keys to the game. If he keeps the ball in the ballpark, Cardinals have a good shot to win.
And we talked about it. He's allowed 22 home runs this season, and a lot of that damage has come in the first inning. So pretty simple. When he doesn't give up home runs, he wins.
Well, Thames struggled on the road, and so did Ryan Braun. He's just 4 for his last 35. High fly ball lifted into center. Fowler under it, makes the catch, and the Brewers go 1-2-3. After 1, St. Louis on top. big coffee fountain, frozen drinks, any size drink. 50 cents the next day at On the Run. Redbird scores 6, so keep the celebration going. Stop by On the Run tomorrow for a thirst quenching win. You earned it. Here's Colton Wong. It's strike one. Snapped his 10-game hit streak last night. Hit .390 during those 10 games, and overall comes into play at .310. On base percentage near .400. The defense has been solid. Quietly putting together a very good season. 0-1 pitch.
Surprising how well he's doing defensively after now hitting maybe more to his potential. Shouldn't go hand in hand, but they do.
I think with him maybe more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Taking the at-bats to the field, the frustration at times. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Fouled back. Into the booth to our left.
Can I get off your lap now?
Always you're so scared here in Milwaukee, Al, that many times I picked you up off the floor.
Just terrifying.
The strikeout of Wong. Second strikeout for Chase Anderson. Luke Voigt tied his career high in RBIs with 4. This is the play in which 2 runs score on a fielder's choice. Then he came up with the bases loaded, right back up the box, and 2 more runs would score. And a high fly ball. Shallow center, Hernan Perez with the catch. 2 down. Well, after today, the Cardinals fly out to San Francisco, 4 with the Giants. Madison Bumgarner will throw in game 1, then 4 in San Diego. After that, all the games are inside the Central Division.
Danny, right now the Cardinals have the fewest wins inside the Central Division, so that's got to change if they want to stay in the hunt.
Grichuk was hitless last night, 0 for his last 8. Oh, 2.
Scotty and Jose Martinez not playing today, outfielders.
Strikeout of Grichuk. 2 in the inning, 3 this afternoon for Chase Anderson. 2-0 midway through 2.
Why do you do that? Well, you're going to catch me one day. Why would you do that?
If you're in the Sun, big trade for the Cardinals today concerning Mike Leake. Neil Walker leads it off. Let's check in with Jim.
Dan, John Mozeliak making it very clear this trade was about clearing a path for the future. The Cards sending Mike Leake, who is in year 2 of a 5-year, $80 million contract to Seattle for a minor league shortstop, Raider Escanio. Mozeliak said this: "We have a lot of young pitching coming. We felt the importance of starting the track of this young pitching today. We did eat some money on this contract, but it was about creating space." Dan?
Well, the follow-up question then would be, you've saved a little money with this. Reports were out of Seattle the Cardinals gave the Mariners $17 million, but much of that is off the books with Leake. So what about Lance Lynn?
He was asked about that. Didn't seem Mozeliak was on board with any thought that they could be clearing money to bring back Lance. Mozeliak said this: "I don't think I draw any conclusion from what we did today and what we will do in the future in regard to that." And
all right, Jimmy, thanks. Neil Walker at the plate, a swing and a miss, batting cleanup and playing third base. Then the logical question becomes, what do the Cardinals do at the roster spot? Well, they would probably, at least in my estimation, barring any injury today, you add a position player tomorrow, and there's a strikeout. And then after that, when rosters expand, you know, then you might be looking at a Flaherty or some of the others that we've been talking about, but we'll know more when we get to San Francisco.
It's 2 strikeouts today, both of them left-handed batters. On Neil Walker's case, a switch hitter batting left-handed, but he started that breaking ball outside the strike zone, breaks over to the outside corner, and got both of them looking. Usually accustomed to seeing the changeup when you are facing a left-handed batter, and then the sliders to the righties.
Santana base hit into right. MLB.com at bat, your #1 mobile app for live Cardinals baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Home screen icons, app features, game day, live game video highlights. Download MLB.com at bat today. First hit, first base runner for the Milwaukee Brewers, Stephen Vogt.
And I like the idea that you talked about, and it seemed very reasonable for the Cardinals to talk about moving forward the possibility of Lance Lynn. Like, test the water, but before you sign with another ball club, come back to the Cardinals and say, this is what I've been offered. Now, do you want to meet it, match it, or there we are, we're through. Keep the door open.
And we talked about that before the game. The Cardinals have had a track record doing that with some of their very own free agents. That's a base hit into right. Cut off by Grichuk. Runners at the corners. One that comes to mind was Matt Holliday. Holliday went out in the free agent market. You saw where that market was going with Matt. Cardinals wanted him back. He wanted to come back, and they made it work out. You never know. Might happen with Lynn. We'll see.
Cardinals are very high on a lot of their young pitchers, and rightfully so, but you just can't have a whole bunch of young kids and consider yourself a contending team. It takes a while for them to get acclimated at this level. Remember, you got Reyes coming back. His innings are going to be monitored.
There's Jonathan VR, runners at the corners. You think about the ground ball with Martinez on the mound. His ground ball percentage 52%. That's fouled back. He's induced 19 ground ball double plays this year. The shadows now closing in on home plate.
Cardinals have a 2-0 lead, and that's going to make it tougher for the hitters, those shadows. So just maintain the lead.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Briara, switch hitter, this being the better side for him, average and power numbers. Tough to turn too. He's got very good speed. 23 steals on the year to lead their club. 1-1 pitch.
Well, last year he had 62 to lead the National League in steals.
D. Gordon was out serving his 80-game suspension. That opened the door for VR.
And then Billy Hamilton got hurt late in the season, so VR was the stolen base leader.
Ground ball back to Martinez, threw it into center field. Run scores, nobody out on that play. Runners at the corners makes it a 2-1 St. Louis lead. The fourth error on Carlos Martinez, and the runner from third was not even going to the plate.
No, I mean, Carlos has been his own worst enemy. Last time out, he made a crucial error, and here he makes another one. Another backdoor slider. Come here and kind of, instead of taking that more proper crow hop, watch him just try to ease it there, and when you do that, you're going to throw it away. Take the crow hop, put a little more of a firm throw on it. Those middle infielders would be there at the bag. Just throw over the bag, and if they're not there, it's their fault.
Hernan Perez, 8th place hitter. The slider drops in for a strike.
There's another very versatile player for Milwaukee.
Only position he has not played in the big leagues, catcher. He even pitched for them earlier this season. It's an RBI for VR. Does get an RBI on that play, number 36. 2 strikes on Hernan Perez. He was the primary fill-in when Ryan Braun went on the DL twice for a calf issue. They've had issues as well at second base. He's played a little third too. That's that versatility of Perez, who says he still wants to be an everyday player if the opportunity presents itself. Ground ball, base hit, tie game. 3 hits in the inning.
That slider, but hangs up a little bit. Rolls over on it, but it goes through on the left side.
So runners at first and second. Chase Anderson, a 143 batter. Does have 2 sacrifices this year.
Sometimes it appears, Danny, that Carlos kind of happy-go-lucky, kind of goes out there and maybe just thinks it's going to be easy, and then he gets in a jam or he gets in trouble, and then he starts pitching his way out. But he's got to maintain that focus right from the get-go. It's like talk about problems he's had in the first inning. So today he was good at getting out of that, but now he gets himself in trouble in the second.
Up and in. Strike 1.
And they hit the bat. So on bunt, coming right inside, and
Cardinals are charging with Voit down that first base line to potentially get the runner going to third, maybe turning it into a double play.
A lot of times very rarely do we see that anymore. Throwing the ball up and in, or the guy squaring around the bunt, or elevate the ball to try and get the pop up. Seems like most of the time you just lay it in there and let him have an easy pitch to bunt.
In the air. 0-2.
You could tell after that pitch, not totally in there trying to bunt, and there's that pitch that's up and very difficult to get it down, so a lot of times it will produce that pop-up.
That one caught Molina. It's a strikeout on the bunt attempt. 3rd strikeout for Martinez. And we're back to the top of the lineup, and Eric Sogard. Going into this game, Martinez had only given up 6 runs in the second inning of his game. So reinforces the point of the first inning and then settling in, but reverse that today.
That ball hit Gotti on the forearm, right? Right forearm.
So runners at first and second. Here's Sogard. A pitch taken low. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Here by Martinez in this inning, really complicating things. Could have been an ending double play. I'll mention his previous start. This is with the bases loaded. Corey Spangenberg at the plate and the throw to the backstop. Then today, ball back to him. Goes to second. Rushed the throw into center field, and the run came around to score. 3-1.
You know, both of those throws, you know, he just tried to be a little too casual with it. Got to be a little firmer.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. Base hit into right field. Charging hard. Grichuk. Throw to the plate. Offline. Missed the cut. And Sogard advances to second. 3-2 Milwaukee.
Running the ball well. Fastball just down and in, turns on it. Grichuk comes up here. Fires it. You just see it's a little offline towards right there. He goes there, and then your hitter Sogard walks the high throw, missing the cutoff man, and then scoots into second base. Put both runners in scoring position.
Thames struck out looking first time up. Little things we talk about a lot. The error by Martinez, a miscut by Randal Grichuk, puts another man in scoring position. Thames shaking his head. He didn't like that call. Only hitting 153 with runners in scoring position this year. And the 0-1. 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. This blown away. Thames leads Milwaukee in home runs with 28 runs scored and walks.
I was surprised, like you said, with that 153 average runners in scoring position.
Many of his home runs have been solo shots. Only 53 RBIs. You'd think he'd have much more than that with 28 home runs.
Yeah, I was looking on Braun, who's on deck. He's only batting 169 with runners in scoring position. So
Martinez wants to get the final out and regroup. 2-2 pitch. Got him. Strikeout at Thames. He's got him twice. Strikes out the side. And a frustrated Carlos Martinez. Brought to you by your local St. Louis area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. Paul Molitor was picked 3rd overall, 1977 by the Brewers. The Hall of Famer, now the manager of the Twins. Still in the hunt in the American League wild card. In the National League wild card, Arizona, a 2-game lead over Colorado. The Brewers 4 back. Miami and St. Louis 5.5 games back in the wild card. Martinez squibs it foul. Dodgers at the Diamondbacks later tonight. Robbie Ray going for Arizona. Ryu for LA. Ryu just 5-6. Pirates at the Cubs later tonight. Ivan Nova 11-11 against Jose Quintana. Cubs a 3.5 game lead over the Brewers, 5-game lead over St. Louis. Martinez, a swing and a miss. And Chase Anderson has struck out 3 of the last 4. Reminder, if you can't see the games on TV, you can stream them live anywhere you go. Download it, Fox Sports Go. Here's Carpenter, walked and scored on the 2-run homer by Pham. The first pitch taken low. Matt was 63 runs driven in. The team leader is Jed Jerko as 64. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals, if you just joined us, made a trade today, sending Mike Leake to Seattle. Since the second half began, batters were hitting .347 against Leake. His ERA was 6.90 in 9 starts. So he is acquired before September 1st, so eligible for the postseason run of the Seattle Mariners. They're still in the hunt for the wild card.
Mike, a really nice young man, but it just wasn't working here.
It was in the beginning of the year, and then he hit a wall.
Yeah, I mean,
he was one of the best pitchers in the National League.
Led the league in ERA for quite a while, and felt like there was nothing physically wrong with him, but the results were not there.
2-2. Full count on Carpenter. Cardinals picked up a young infielder in the minor leagues. Freed themselves, give themselves a little wiggle room with payroll looking ahead to the years to come with their young starting pitching. As Carpenter hits it a mile high. Shallow right field. 2 down. Tommy Pham back in the first inning. Home run number 18. A 2-run homer. RBIs 56 and 57. That home run on the heels of being on base 4 times last night. Strike 1. Chase Anderson came to Milwaukee along with Aaron Hill in the Gene Segura deal. And Segura was in Arizona, then traded to Seattle. Signed a long-term contract there. 0-1 pitch.
Thought he was a pretty good player, Segura, and still is. Go in on Tommy. Back inside. Great framing that ball.
High fly ball. Shallow right field. Santana with the catch. And a 1-2-3. 9 in a row sent down by Anderson. Series, engine number 42. Of all things, he ends the World Series with a fastball. 10-pitch at bat against Gorman Thomas. The Cardinals had won the 1982 World Series. You think about Bruce Sutter, revolutionized the split finger all the way to the Hall of Fame, but yet 10-pitch at bat and into the World Series with the fastball. Kubota Power Stats, the save leaders of 1982. Bruce Sutter at 36. Fred Martin was a pitching coach in the Cubs minor league system and taught that pitch to Bruce Sutter. With the perfect hand and fingers to throw the split finger.
You know, he was a normal pitcher and hurt his arm. And
there's a ground ball left side. Carpenter with the play.
And basically, he had to come up with a new pitch or some little wrinkle or go home. And that's when he learned the split finger pitch. I mean, it looked like a beach ball coming up. And by the time you started the swing, the bottom fell out of it. So, but he told Darryl Porter, we're going to end this on a fastball. And I mean, that's sometimes where you just feel like doesn't matter. And Gorman Thomas was the big home run hitter for Harvey Wallbangers and punched him out with the high fastball.
Leon Durham, Ken Reitz for Bruce Sutter. 3 of the 4 years with the Cardinals, Bruce Sutter was in the top 3 Cy Young Award. And it took him 13 years to get to the Hall of Fame. And he told me at a recent fantasy camp, he said, for me, when I went into the Hall of Fame, that was closure for my baseball career. I felt like I had done so much, and I was on the outside looking in, revolutionized a pitch in the game that's been around forever, dominated with that pitch, and at times dominated the game. And finally, when I was recognized to go into the Hall of Fame, that was it. That was closure for me in my baseball career, and content.
You know, there's still always been somewhere a prejudice against closers. You know, some of the guys that have gone in before were early in their career were starters, had success like an Eckersley. You know, and late in their career, they kind of made that career switch to the bullpen.
Well, now the way you have to look at a closer, if you're going to compare it to guys of your era, you have to take a look at the amount of innings that those closers back then were mounting. I mean, it was well over 100 innings. It wasn't just coming in to get it out. You picked up a save.
I've said it many times that
fly ball into right for out number 3.
A lot of times you had 10-man pitching staff, so 5 relievers, and even in the American League sometimes only 9.
3-2 our score. Anderson as we move to the top of the 4th. DeYoung, Fowler, and Molina.
Danny, Tommy Pham hit a 2-run home run the first time up. So this time he tries to get ahead with a cutter. And the point is so he's ahead. Now he throws a 4-seam fastball in. Comes back with a sinking fastball in to get him out away. There's another cutter down and away, but you get a hitter to pull off the pitch.
DeYoung on the first pitch and a fly ball into center. We're talking a lot about the Cardinals Hall of Fame last night. That's why I think that I would hope voters and those that put names on the ballot take a hard look at my partner Al Raboski, the fireman of the year in the mid-70s, longtime broadcaster in Cardinals history. That also adds to it.
Not going to happen, but there's so many more worthy candidates.
I'll just take the compliment and roll with it, will you?
Well, I appreciate it, but I'm also a realist.
Pretty good run. Pretty darn good run.
What was it you told me? I could move into the other category.
Yeah, you just be dead.
You have to be dead.
We don't want that, Al.
Some people might.
And a ground ball that's hit towards the shift. T-Mobile Unlimited baseball break. Stanton with number 51 last night. Chris Sale 1,500 career strikeouts. Fewest needed in Major League history in terms of innings to get to that mark. And historic home run totals. Already over 5,000 home runs have been hit this year prior to September. That had never been done in baseball history. Ball is jumping.
This year it's seems like the home run and strikeouts.
And a lot of long at bats. You know, you don't see the quick 1-2-3s many times. I thought over the weekend that Tampa Bay was a great example of that. I mean, they were just grinding through. It seemed like every at bat was 3-2. They play a lot of long games. Here's a 1-1. Already in this game, Anderson has struck out 4. Martinez 5. We've seen a home run. Trying to make it 12 in a row. And he will here. Ground ball to short. Sogard to first. The stretch by Thames. 12 in a row for Chase Anderson. Inning for him last night. That's 4 scoreless innings to begin his big league career. And we check in with Jim.
Yeah, Ryan Sheriff spent 7 years in the minors. So far, he's making the most of his first taste of the big leagues. As you point out, pitched a scoreless inning last night. So far, 2 games, 4 scoreless. He told me each time he heads to the mound, he says, "I love you, Dad," out loud. That in honor of his father, Larry, who passed away in 2012 after battling cancer. He told me talking to his dad before he pitches helps him feel connected. Sheriff told me he was the one that coached me in Little League. He was the one that took me to Dodgers games. He was the one that drove me to tournaments. Dan, Ryan said there were times he thought about giving up on baseball, but he remembered what his dad told him in one of his last visits to the hospital. His dad told him, "If you're going to do this, work hard. Do it for me." Yeah.
Good stuff. Young offline with the throw. Stephen Voigt is aboard to start the bottom of the 4th.
Probably give him a base hit.
They just gave him an error. So DeYoung is 8th of the season, committed an error last night. I thought the Players Weekend was really cool. The fact that you learn more about the players and the nicknames and the stories as to how they got to the big leagues, like a Ryan Sheriff, and so many of the tribute patches went to mom and dad, those that took him to the ballpark and all the practices and the BP and the lessons. There's a strike on Jonathan VR.
I think the biggest mistake that DeYoung made right there is not knowing Voigt and his running speed. He had a little more time than he thought.
Carlos would love the double play. Key point in this game, runners at first and third, nobody out, or rather 1 out. VR up. Bounce back to Martinez. He threw it into center. Could have been an inning-ending double play. That opened up what would be a 3-run inning. Back to Martinez. But under his glove, he may have gotten a piece of it. And the first 2 have reached. September 10th, 12,000 fans. And those kids, 15 and under, entering with a ticket, take home a limited edition Cardinals pup courtesy of Build-A-Bear Workshop. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. That's another one that Carlos would probably tell you, yeah, I should have made that play. Not easy, but looked like it went right under his glove.
Good athlete. Fancies himself as a good fielder, but it's this throwing. He just made 4 errors on the year. And as you said, a crucial one back in the 2nd inning.
Hernan Perez. RBI single back in the 2nd to left on an 0-2 pitch. 23rd appearance for Carlos Martinez already in his career against the Milwaukee Brewers. His 12th start. 5-3, an ERA that's under 2. It's the lowest ERA against Milwaukee among any active pitcher. And here he is again, 0-2 on Perez. One ball and 2 strikes. Out to center. Fowler going back. He won't get there. Plays it off the wall. They're going to wave him in. Relay to the plate. Throw home. It's in time. The tag there. They got him. The relay, Fowler, Wong, Molina, and they get him at the plate.
They're probably going to review this one. Dexter got it off the wall, hits his cutoff man, felt there was no choice or no chance when the throw was coming in from long. But that is Voit running. The catcher gives him a lane. And it sure looks like he tags him before he touches the plate.
There was a little hesitation from the third base coach to send him, and I wonder if that slight hesitation slowed up Voit just a bit, and they get him by that slightest of margins. And so runners at first and second, quick pickoff and back in safely. Huge play for the Cardinals.
Voit out there realizes now it's over his head, comes right here. Look at the runner at second base. He has to wait and make sure he goes home. Swinging along, gets him in the back, and it should look like no challenge. So they.
Speaking of challenges, the Cardinals taking a closer look. The tag at second base. That is your favorite third base coach in the league, Al.
Oh yeah, it's Cedar. You want me to say it again?
Go ahead, because I know it's coming.
Well, he takes those glasses off, the nose comes with it.
When you first said it, I couldn't believe it, and then you set me up. Go ahead and explain that one too.
Well, you were all worried he'd get upset. He was thrilled. Ed was thrilled his name was mentioned. The next day I did buy a couple pair of the glasses with the nose attached to it, and did a little quick interview, see if he was all right with it, and then I turned around back to you, Danny, and I was wearing, we were both wearing the glasses with the nose attached.
I couldn't believe it.
Late call there.
BJC Healthcare difference maker. The Cardinals in April, the fielding percentage 30th. Since then, it's 4th. It's not an indication of range, but balls that you get to and whether or not you field them. So it can be a little misleading on how good your club is defensively, but you just want the plays that you can make that you do. Great tag by Molina, too, to get the back of Voit as he tried to score. Keep this a one-run Milwaukee lead. Runners go on the 0-1, throw down to third, and he's off the bag, and Carpenter kept the tag on, and he's out. They're claiming that he was pushed off, but he was sliding hard in there. It looked like he slid right off the bag.
It's interesting. They're watching a third base umpire. He's kind of signaling slide to the outside part. Watch his hand start telling him he's off the bag, and then he was just trying to prove that he was off the bag, and now counsel's going to say he was pushed off. Carpenter did a real nice job. He was playing in front of the bag for the bunt, had to retreat back, catch the ball, and apply the tag on one swift motion.
Cannot push a runner off the bag. Maybe the umpire is saying, well, even if he thought he was pushed, he was going that direction anyway. Momentum taking him that way. Tried to switch hands and couldn't quickly enough.
So he comes back, kind of turns around. Obviously he's safe, but his momentum carrying him off the bag.
What do you think? The Cardinals catch a break here?
Most definitely. I mean, just with a guy thrown out at the home plate, then a guy thrown out at third.
I mean, on this play, yeah.
That one there. But I don't think he was doing anything to push him.
We are upset. Now 2 outs. And a swing and a miss with the pitcher at the plate, 1-2.
See, he's running the bag, and then he's holding on. Yeah, he might be leaning a little against him there, but
the Cardinals and Martinez get out of this jam. The first 3 had reached. It's a booze. Fans unhappy with the umpiring. Boston leads the East by 4 over the Yankees. Cleveland, 6.5 game lead. They've opened up on Minnesota. 9.5 in front of Kansas City. Houston, by the way, where he returns home against the Mets this weekend to play a doubleheader on Saturday at Minute Maid Park, and then regularly scheduled game on Sunday. They lead their division by 12. Washington in the East, 14 game lead over Miami. Mentioned the Cardinals within 5 of Chicago. And out west, the Dodgers, an 18 game lead. They could wrap up their division by September 6th, potentially. There's Colton Wong, Luke Voigt, Randall Grichuk against Chase Anderson. We're in inning number 5. Anderson walked the first man he saw in this game. That was Carpenter. And then a 2-run homer by Tommy Pham. That made it 2-0. And since then, no one has reached base for the Cardinals. High fly ball out to left. Braun going back near the wall and makes the catch. 13 in a row.
Talk to people associated with the Brewers, and they say he was pitching like an ace. And you have to agree with that assessment here today.
Originally selected by Minnesota twice, did not sign, went to the University of Oklahoma, and then selected in the 9th round of the 2009 draft. Grew up in Wichita Falls, Texas. Here's Luke Voigt. The 2009 draft of the Cardinals, one of the best they ever had. Had 7 players from that draft that made it to the big leagues. Many of them had an impact. Shelby Miller, Joe Kelly, Matt Carpenter, Trevor Rosenthal, Matt Adams. And that is one heck of a draft.
Danny, that's where, you know, you look at the Cardinals, the success they've had in the draft. There's a lot of clubs that miss on their number ones.
Boyd hits it down the right field line out of play.
And you're talking about all those players reaching from one draft. I mean, it just seems like every year. Look at how many kids are homegrown with the Cardinals now, or moved on to play for other organizations, but drafted by the Cardinals, came through the system. Great success.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Luke Voigt. A swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5. I would say the Cardinals' number 1 picks haven't been great, where they've made the damage and had damage in the draft in a good way has been the lesser picks.
And you know, let's face it, the Cardinals not drafting in the top 5 in a year. You know, I mean, they're used. They have a bad ball club the year before. They're probably drafting around 12th position at best, but most of the time it's in the high 20s.
Grichuk pops it up. Thames gives it a look. He's over and out of play.
And you're absolutely right. In order to be successful, it's really, other than the first round or second round, is what the guys down the line, what they do. Go out and find somebody that nobody else really likes.
Joe Kelly did not have a very good senior year. He was a closer at an ERA near 6. They saw him in person one time. Took him. Slippery rock, Matt Adams. Rosenthal, position player till the very tail end of the year that he was drafted. And it was Braden Looper's uncle that saw him and drafted him. Said, take a chance on this guy. He's got a big arm. So it's about scouting, it's about analytics, and it's about having a little bit of luck too. When they drafted Kelly, there was a big hitter in college right before him that most felt, the draft experts said, you got to take this guy. Cardinals never did, obviously, and he never made it past AA. Out of play again. We're starting to see that next wave of these players coming through, and Luke Voigt, Carson Kelly, Paul DeYoung, eventually Jack Flaherty.
We touched on it last night a little bit, but how they're winning in the minor leagues for the Cardinals. So they just kind of come up accustomed to winning.
3-2 is well hit. Deep right, and this game is tied. Randal Grichuk. He snaps an 0 for 9 with an exclamation point at opposite field. Line drive home run, his 17th of the year, and it's 3-3.
14 of his 17 home runs have come when he's batting in the 7th spot or higher in the order. Batting 8th today. And an opposite field shot. Ball just jumps off his bat all the way to the back wall in the bullpen.
Get out of play. The strike on Martinez. We're tied 3-3.
Hopefully we won't have to wait 13, 14 more batters for our next hit.
It's set down 14 in a row. Strike to Martinez.
He's allowed 2 hits. A 2-run home run by Tommy Pham beginning of the game, and then Grichuk with his 17th home run.
Carlos puts it in play. Ground ball hit to Sogard. Midway through 5, a solo home run by Randal Grichuk, his 17th. RBI number 48, tied up at 3. Football is here. It's back. It all starts Friday on FS1. Number 8, Washington takes on Rutgers. Then on Saturday, Maryland battles number 23, Texas. Sunday, check out Texas A&M. Will square off with UCLA at the Rose Bowl on Fox. The top of the lineup, the home run hitters for the Cardinals. Grichuk is tied it. Pham gave the Cardinals an early 2-0 lead. It's Sogard, Thames, and Braun. Luke Weaver last night joined Rick Ankiel, the only rookies in Cardinals history with back-to-back 10 strikeout games. Ankiel did that back in 2000. Rick had 30 starts that year, went 11-7, 175 innings, and he struck out 194 as he finished second in the Rookie of the Year balloting to Rafael Furcal of the Braves. Kazuhiro Suzuki won the AL Rookie of the Year with Seattle. And if you're wondering, the MVPs, 2000, Jeff Kent, Jason Giambi, and the Cy Young Award winners, Pedro Martinez and Randy Johnson that year. 1-2 the count.
We can remember watching Rick Ankiel's Major League debut up in Montreal.
Here's a 1-2. Went down to get it. Soft liner hit to Coblong. Boeing is teaming up with the Cardinals to bring fans a great ticket deal. Fans can purchase tickets for just $6 each. Cardinals take on the Reds September 12th through the 14th. Cardinals.com/Boeing, $6 tickets. Nice to see Rick back in town for the Cardinals Hall of Fame ceremonies. Walt Jocketty was back, Barry Weinberg to support Mark McGwire. Really is a fabulous presentation put on by the organization. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rick, one of the greatest athletes to ever play Cardinal baseball. There is no doubting that.
You can tell it right now when he plays in the fantasy games.
Hitting bombs everywhere.
Just the way he bounces around, and he plays all the different positions defensively, and then the way he swings the bat.
2-2 the count. And for those that don't know, we've talked about it a lot, but The Phenomenon, his book that's out, written with Tim Brown, longtime baseball writer, tremendous read. 3-2 pitch.
And a call last week from Keith Hernandez as he's writing his autobiography and was going over some of the well, unfortunately he was going over the '77 season. Somehow asked me a few questions about run rate.
3-2 pitch. And how were you with those questions?
I answered
honestly.
Oh yeah. Actually told me a couple things that I didn't remember.
3-2, and Thames strikes out for the 3rd time. 7 today for Martinez.
He's got Thames 3 times, and Thames was 3 for 7 with a double and a home run off of Carlos. So now that he's back in this ball game tied, you see a little more of an aggressive attitude.
So 2 outs, and here is Braun, 0 for 2. And it's wonderful that Rick has come back to the Cardinal family where it all began. Drafted as a high school phenom, jumping through the minor leagues, coming to the big leagues, coming back as a position player. With the specialization of the game too, when you think about pitchers and how they're taught as little leaguers, sometimes by the time high school rolls around, they're not swinging the bat anymore, or vice versa. That's a fair ball inside that right field line, dug out of the corner by Gritchett and gone to second base. But to do what he did, nothing short of a miracle.
I didn't think he could do it, and to my surprise and many others, he did something that there's a vast difference between the 2 players, but the nearest comparison to what he did, winning at least 11 games in the big leagues and hitting and having a year of at least 25 home runs. There's only one other person that you can look at, and that's Babe Ruth.
And to come back and play center field,
another demanding position.
Right. Well, he's coming back to play a lesser position, and not to say
DH or
any of these positions are not tough. They are in their own ways, but center field, covering that ground, having the range and the speed, the jumps. And it'd be one thing if he was just an okay pitcher or a guy that was just a fringe guy that came up and reinvented himself. But we're talking about a guy that was dominant at times his rookie year. It's part of the story as well. 1 ball and 1 strike on Neil Walker. The switch hitter has struck out twice. Martinez has struck out 7. You also find out when guys get out of the game, truly, in my mind, what kind of person they are in many ways, because the pressure is off and you're seeing more of their personality, and you know, the grind of the season and the game is done, and they're more, lack of a better term, they're more human. And found that out with Rick, what a good person he is too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the grind is done. So that wall has been broken down, if you will. And
that's a good way to look at it.
You know,
the wall's broken down.
Yeah, you find out more about a guy. Here's a 1-2 pitch. It's hard enough to play in this league, and then, you know, all the responsibilities that go into being a big league player, both on and off the field. And they get to spend time with family and kids and friends, and actually have a summer, something they haven't done their entire life.
It's fun to watch him with his 2 boys.
It's great. Ground ball softly hit to first, and Voit will step on the bag. Milwaukee strands a runner, their 4th of the afternoon. It's 3-3. Number 101 against the Milwaukee Brewers, and the highest career slugging percentage against Milwaukee. Big Mac, Albert Pujols, Scott Rowland, then Matt Carpenter and Matt Holliday.
Pretty select company right there.
I bet. For a guy that initially, when he was called up, he didn't think about doubles or extra base hits or triples or home runs. He has evolved here at the big league level.
Not the year he had 55 doubles.
Yeah.
Break Stan Musial's record by a left-handed hitter.
A strike to Carpenter, walked and scored, and also popped out. Chase Anderson in this game has given up 2 hits. And yet we're tied 3-3. Just missed.
He's only allowed 3 base runners.
Very good at home. 2.15 ERA this year. 3-0 his record. Opponents came in hitting overall just .224 against him, so he's really turned around his career.
Mentioned how he's pitched well against the Cardinals. 7 previous starts, 2.70 ERA, but has not won a ball game against St. Louis. Fastball in.
3-2 is popped up. Left side and out of play.
Sometimes you wonder why catchers even give location. Pitchers. It's the one thing that I just don't understand, how they don't have better fastball command. Your shadows now.
All the way out towards the outfield.
The lights are on.
Upstairs, and that's the second walk for Carpenter. This is how the game began. Don't miss Country Music Night, presented by Q in the Lou. Friday, September 8th. Purchase of a special themed ticket. Fans receive a one-of-a-kind country-themed Cardinals snapback hat. Tickets at cardinals.com/theme. Yeehaw. Here's Tommy Pham. After the walk to Carpenter in the first, he hit a home run, his 18th.
Talked about how last time up, got ahead in the count and tried to throw a couple balls inside to get him off the plate, and then got him away back inside.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Tommy Pham. And out to visit goes Stephen Vogt. So 2-0 the count on Pham. He can be selective here. 2-run homer back in the first inning. And also flied out to right. High fly ball out to right, going back. Santana near the wall, and he's got it. Tommy gave that a ride too. In steps Paul DeYoung. 0 for 2. Last home run for DeYoung was on the 19th of this month. What's going on?
Yeah, what's wrong?
Since May 28th, the rookies in baseball, the key are in the driver's seat. DeYoung, Judge, Bellinger. 20 home runs, 50 or more RBIs. He's first in average, third in home runs and RBIs among rookies.
That's what we're talking about, is getting some national attention for the runner-up spot. National League rookie.
It's Bellinger's without question. He returns to the lineup tonight for the Dodgers. Ball was recalled on June 15th. And since that time, only Stanton has more home runs. Here's the 0-2. We talked about last night too. You're starting to see him. It's not to say it's going to be every at bat, every pitch, but better recognition of the strike zone.
Yeah, and you know, the pitchers have made an adjustment to him. That's one of the reasons why he's not hitting the home runs, but he's starting to make that adjustment, take that outside pitch. It's like I'm working in.
It's at a mile high into shallow right, calling for it. VR, and it'll be the right fielder Santana make the catch. 2 outs. Dexter Fowler. Dexter involved in a key play in this game, and that was back in the 4th. An error, base hit, Perez up, 2 runners on, base hit over his head in center, and the relay went 8-4-2 as they got the runner at the plate. Then there was a caught stealing and a strikeout, and the threat was through. Hader and Hughes warming up for the Brewers. No activity for the Cardinals. Hader, their lone lefty, and a good one. 1-0 pitch to Fowler. Two strikes, 1-2. Short lead at first, and the 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Curveballs there, starting off with a cutter.
Fowler's last home run was against Kansas City. And a swing and a miss. Chase Anderson with 6 strikeouts. 3-3 our score. By Tommy Pham, part 1 of the State Farm perfect pair. The other in the 5th. Rando Grichuk, this line drive into the Cardinal bullpen. Couple of home runs. The only 2 hits for the Cardinals today. We're tied 3-3. The State Farm perfect pair. In the bottom of the 6th, Domingo Santana, Stephen Vogt, and Jonathan Villar. Santana base hit to right and a run scored in the 2nd. First pitch taken low. Pitch count at 82.
I'd like to think he would be efficient enough to get through this inning and one more.
Cardinals head to San Francisco after the game today. All the 4 games will be seen on Fox Sports Midwest coming up beginning tomorrow night. Michael Wacha, Madison Bumgarner. Bumgarner 3-6, Wacha 9-7.
Mike Leake was scheduled to pitch on Friday night. Obviously, with the trade, Leake going to Seattle. See where this foul tip gets Yachty.
The 2-2. Rosters can expand after tomorrow, so should see a handful of new players at the big league level beginning on Friday.
Catch 22, isn't it?
2-2 out to right. Rich hit back at the wall, and it's gone. Opposite field home run. Domingo Santana, his 22nd of the year.
Third home run that Carlos Martinez has allowed this season. Opposite field, down the way Santana, he thought he had it.
It's the most hits that Carlos has given up against the Brewers this year. Fastball at 95 and a strike. That's the 8th hit for the Brewers. And we're in the 6th. Pitch number 89 upcoming. 4-3 our score. 0-2.
Carlos has made 3 previous starts this year. He's 1-2 with a 4.15 ERA. That's with his lifetime ERA against them at 1.99. So much for 2 more innings.
It right through legs of Matt Carpenter and into left field.
She said, Danny, right through the legs.
Third error on the Cardinals today.
Never got the glove down.
Stephen Voigt has reached with 2 errors today, the other being charged to Young. Martinez had an error that led to 3 runs being scored. And now Jonathan Villar.
See a double play ball.
In a way, the Cardinals probably thankful it's only a 1-run game.
Exactly.
Go back to that 4th inning. Could have been disastrous. Man. Sheriff is warming up in the Cardinal pen.
That man throwing out the plate, another one thrown out at third.
Two balls and a strike. Well hit the other way. Fan going back, spun around, gone just over the wall. 2-run shot. Jonathan Villar, his 10th. And it's a 3-run Milwaukee lead.
Down and low ball hitter takes it over the wall and left.
Villar is driven in 3 of the 6 for the Brewers. Hernan Perez 2 for 2.
To Santana, instead of dumping water on, put peanut shells or whatever.
Two 2-0 the count. Ground ball, Carpenter. Up with it. And just in time. Cardinals will get into the bullpen now of the Brewers. Pinch hit for Chase Anderson. Orlando Arcia will be the pinch hitter for Anderson. Rare day off for the young shortstop of the Brewers. Should a ball low. One way or another, this would be the final inning for Carlos Martinez. Pitch count at 99. Out to right. Richick in front of the track makes the catch. See a lot of balls getting up in the air, and that's not when he is right. Normally, it's a lot of ground balls.
Yeah, one of the highest percentage of ground ball pitchers in the National League.
52% coming into play today. Here's Sogard as an RBI base hit back in the second inning. Grounded out to second, popped out to second.
It's not the ballpark that you want to throw a fly ball pitcher in.
Not when the roof is open. Roof is open and the paneling beyond the walls is open. The ball jumps out of you. Dropping down a bunt. Tough play, Carpenter. Bare hands and safe.
Like Dan Iasonia, the first base umpire wanted to call him out, but great stretch by Boyd. Perfect bunt, do or die play for Carpenter. Bare hands it, throws off balance. There you see the stretch, and I think he might have said his toe loses contact. He beat it out anyway.
That'll be it for Martinez. Ryan Sheriff coming in. The lefty has been getting loose for the Cardinals. 10 hits allowed by Martinez. Here comes Sheriff. He'll face Eric Thames in our Chevy Call to the Pen when we come back. Coming up at Busch Stadium Tuesday, September 12th. Fans who purchase a special themed ticket take home an exclusively designed Cardinals World Championship Belt T-shirt. Tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
Can I ask what old school wrestling?
Well, if you go online, they've got some of the old school guys coming. Oh yeah. Off the top of my head, I can't remember who they are, but they're going to be there.
Wrestlers or?
Yeah.
And not collegiate wrestlers.
No, this is like wrestling at the chase.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Moto. Freddie Blassie.
I think Jim one time had an interview with Rowdy Piper.
Oh yeah, they both were.
Was it Ric Flair?
Kilts.
It was Ric Flair.
Woo!
0-1 the count here on Eric Thames.
Randy Savage, a former Cardinal farmhand. He's passed away, but was a world champion at one time.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He'll be there.
Oh yeah.
Ricky the Steamboat. He's going to be there too. Hey-oh! You don't want to miss it. It's September 12th. Cardinals.com/theme. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Thames. Struck out 3 times. Team record when they hit home runs. 2 or more, 37 and 19. And today, a couple of home runs hit in this inning alone off of Carlos Martinez. 6-3 our score, and the 2-1 pitch. Sheriff to Thames. 2-2.
Carlos is still responsible for the runner at first base, but 3 of the 6 runs he's allowed were unearned. But still, he gave up 10 hits.
Were you into wrestling at the chase?
Absolutely. Not at the chase. I was way before that. I was into it.
Fly ball lifted into right. And the inning comes to a close. 10 hits for the Brewers through 6. They pick up 3 and break the 3-3 tie. The Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Josh Hader is into the ballgame. It's our Chevy call to the pen. Brewers eventually feel that he'll go into the rotation, breaking him into Major League Baseball in their pen. You watch him throw, he's got a little bit of that Chris Sale look to him too. Left-handed, tall, thin. It can bring some heat.
He was acquired in the Carlos Gomez deal from Houston. He started this season as second best prospect in the organization. Had 12 starts, 3-4, 5.37 ERA at Colorado Springs. But how do you judge a pitcher in that small ballpark and that rarefied air, Colorado Springs?
First pitch. Right-handed batters get used to seeing that. Fastballs throws that about 90% of the time to the righties. Throw his slider to the lefties. 2 fastballs, 2 balls, and no strikes. Molina is 0 for 2. Grounded back to the pitcher and also 2 short.
Opponents are only batting 141 against him.
Cardinals looking for some offense. Just 2 hits in this game, and both have been home runs. Two. Ooh, just missed. Sam Tuivailala throwing in the Cardinals pen.
He throws across his body.
And a leadoff walk to Yadier Molina. That also is how you get back into a game.
Sure.
Everything hard there to Yadier Molina. We'll see if it's a change with Colton Wong. Mentioned that he'll mix in that slider a little bit more. Left-handed batter.
Colton's actually been better against left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching, so he might be able to surprise him here.
Wong slowly hit towards short. Arcia stayed in the game, and they'll get the lead man. Pujols Family Foundation Celebrity Golf Classic, hosted by Carlos Martinez, held last week. You can see the highlights from that event. A special tonight at 6 on Fox Sports Midwest. Pujols Family Foundation seeks to help meet the needs of children and families who live with Down syndrome and improve the quality of life for impoverished people in the Dominican. Luke Voigt. Ball 1.
Luke probably faced Josh at Pacific Coast League this year.
0 for 2. He's flied to center, and he also struck out. On a play. Seats are filled down the right field line. They know, though, day games at this ballpark, sun shines brightly down the left field line. So loaded up down that first base and right field line. Nice crowd on hand. And the 1-1 pitch to Luke Voigt. 1-2.
See Colton Wong steal a base.
Swing and a miss.
Oh, off-speed pitch down and away, gets him to chase. Monday pitch arsenal. See 84% fastballs, mostly the sliders that thrown to the left-hander.
And now Randal Grichuk. What's disappointing in this game is that you're running out of time, and the importance of this game to where you win game 1 with the rookie on the mound. You've got Martinez going at game 2, and it's not to say that it's over, but This was a very important game for the Cardinals. Now they trail 6-3.
I mean, the Cubs are sitting back saying, let you guys beat each other up. I mentioned that I'd like to see Colton Wong. He's got an 80% success ratio stealing bases at the big league level. And boy, the Milwaukee catcher is 0 for 11 throwing out base stealers.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Struck him out. Late call, strikeout of Bridget. Time to stretch. Milwaukee on top. Still 8 games, 4 in San Francisco, 4 in San Diego. Starts tomorrow night. Michael Wacha and Madison Bumgarner. Budweiser, what's on tap? Sam Tuivailala takes over for the Cardinals. 6-3 our score. Going to be Braun, Walker, and Santana. Right-handed batters have had fits against Sam, batting just .207. Mixed in that breaking pitch a lot against the right-handers, and that's been a good pitch because he also has a mid to high 90s fastball you got to gear up for.
Very important, just not let them score, give your offense a chance to come from behind. Carlos committed 3 errors, and there's 3 unearned runs charged to Carlos Martinez in this game.
And a strike to Braun. 5 for his last 38. Snapped it 0 for 15 last night. So Cardinals have caught him at the right time. Thames has been struggling. 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2.
And Shaw been struggling a little bit, but still got enough firepower with 2 home runs and 10 hits today in this game.
.2 pitch. Our attendance today, 28,964. 28964. And the 1-2. Chopped to third. Fair ball. Carpenter quickly out of the glove. Low throw. What a pick by Voit at first, and the stretch.
We've talked a lot amongst ourselves about Voit and his stretch, how much he tries to help these infielders. But as you said, you got a double dose right there. Great pick and a great stretch to help out Carpenter.
Neil Walker. Colorado losing 2-0 to Detroit in the third. Miami and Washington just underway. Colorado 2 back of Arizona in the wild card. Cardinals 5.5 games out. Later tonight, the Pirates at the Cubs. Ivan Nova, Jose Quintana. Pulled foul. Two. A swing and a miss. Walker 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Sam has retired the first 2. Plaza Tire Service replay.
The pitch right there outside, but got a little run to it away from Walker. Got him to chase.
16 strikeouts combined in this game, 8 apiece.
Like we said last night, they got about 4 more to get about their average. They're on pace to break their franchise record in strikeouts.
Domingo Santana 2 hits in this game. Base hit to right. Into right again. Diving catch. Randall Grichuk takes the hit away. And a 1-2-3 for Tuivailala sends us to the 8th. The Cardinals down 6-3. Nice play, Randall. Arizona 2 in front of Colorado. Milwaukee right there along with St. Louis and Miami. Pittsburgh now has dropped to 9.5 games out. Cardinals have been out hit 10-2. There's only 2 hits, and yet they've committed 3 errors and still only down by 3. There is hope. Hader is second inning of work. Jose Martinez will pinch hit. Hader's had at least 1 strikeout in 18 2/3 innings.
He's been a good pinch hitter. Career .433 with 2 home runs as a pinch hitter.
Bader struck out 2 back in the 7th inning in relief of Chase Anderson, who's trying to pick up his first ever win against the Cardinals. 0-2 in 7 career starts. A ball and a strike.
Right-hander warming up, so you would think he's probably going to face Martinez and Carpenter, and to go back to the bullpen.
One and 2 the count on Jose Martinez. Right-handed batters, you know it. You got to gear up for that fastball 90% of the time.
That's why it's a good matchup for Martinez. Council's pleased with his pitcher out there, but Martinez, has seen him take left-handed fastballs and be able to turn on them.
Here's a 2-2. Anthony Swarzak getting loose. And their setup man here with the Brewers. Good one. Matt Bowman warming up for the Cardinals.
Swarzak came over with the trade right before the trade deadline from the White Sox and been their primary setup man to a very good closer.
3-2. Martinez. The fly ball into center. And it drops. Late break in center by Perez. And the Cardinals have the leadoff man on.
He was definitely fooled out there. And remember, he's in bright sunshine. The plate is in the shadows, and he didn't get a good read at this at all. Late break, and then comes in, and it's too late. But way to go. There's your start.
Just the 3rd hit for the Cardinals. They had a 2-run homer in the 1st, solo home run in the 5th. And now this base hit in the 8th. Carpenter 0 for 1, couple of walks and a run scored. Tommy Pham at the on-deck circle.
Cardinals have 3 hits and 3 walks in this game. That's it.
Two and 0. The 2-0 pitch. 2-1.
Down the bottom, pitcher's pitch. Hatters walked 20 in 31 innings.
3-1. The tying run, the on-deck circle. Pham has already homered in this game, and now Carpenter can be selective.
Tommy's going to face the right hand.
Three and 2. 3-2 pitch. Runner goes, and it's a diving stop at second. Takes the hit away from Carpenter and brings in Tommy Pham. No move yet to the pen. And now here comes Craig Counsell.
Saves the day right there. VR. You put Arcia and VR together. They're pretty talented up the middle.
To be part of a double switch.
Roxton is going into center field, we would assume.
Sock reliever now with Milwaukee, picked up near the trade deadline. 55 appearances, couple of days of rest coming into this appearance. The right-hander's hitting just .217 against him. And while with Milwaukee, they're hitting just .143. Lefties, it's been a different story, over 400 since he arrived in Milwaukee. The Cardinals with one lefty on their bench, that's Garcia. Broxton to center, Perez from center to third base, and Suarez into the game.
See a lot of four-seam fastballs and sliders. Broxton out in center field. Low average, but 20 home runs.
Here's Tommy Pham. The pitch taken low for a ball. Broxton can flat out run too. Very good defensive player. Versatility of Perez allows the double switch to take place. Neil Walker out of the game. Here's a 1-0 pitch. One ball and one strike. Walker made the second out in the bottom of the seventh. Here's a 1-1 to Tommy Pham. Pham with a drive out to deep right. Santana back, and it is gone. He's done it again. Tommy Pham, his second two-run homer of the day. He's driven in 4. The Cardinals within a run, and Pham has been unbelievable here in 2017.
This has got to be one of his favorite ballparks to hit. He had a really breakout series last year against Milwaukee, and here he's doing it here today. Home runs set 18 and 19, 4 RBIs, a little slider, catches it, and sends a second one, almost the identical. Hitting that back wall there in the Cardinal bullpen.
6th career multi-home run game for Tommy Pham. Cardinals have a life. They're within 1. 6-5 our score. Here's Paul DeJong, hitless in 3 plate appearances. Fastball and a strike. It's a game the Cardinals desperately need. Two strikes on DeJong. What a year it's been for Tommy Pham. Now just one back of the team leader who's at the plate, DeJong.
Done a good job of pitching, Paul. Paul's only 3 for 21 in facing the Milwaukee pitching. Well, we know gets one in his wheelhouse, he can tie this game real quick.
Here's a 1-2. Struck him out. Cardinals have struck out 9 times in this game. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. 15 home runs hit by Fowler this year, 14 from this side of the plate. Ball 1. Two and 0. Lean on deck. The 2-1. Fowler breaks his bat, slowly hit. Tough play, barehanded, and out at first. What a play by VR. Wow. Tommy Pham, a pair of 2-run homers. This one in the first to left. This one to right. He's up to 19. Bud Light, famous among friends. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. 6-5 our score as we're in Milwaukee. Matt Bowman into the ball game for the Cardinals. Tommy Pham, a pair of home runs. He's driven in 4 of the 5. Chevy called to the pen.
Bowman has to be well rested. His last appearance was on the 24th of August. I'm used to having 5 days off.
He needed it.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Stephen Vogt is single to right and reached base twice. A couple of Cardinal errors, and the first pitch is strike. Looking ahead to the 9th inning, the Cardinals will have Molina, Wong, and Luke Voigt coming up. Corey Knebel is the closer here in Milwaukee, and he's a good one. Fly ball out to left. Tommy Pham with the catch. 1 away. Sixth inning, Jonathan Villar. How about the play he just made moments ago on Dexter Fowler?
Well, that's what we said. You know, up the middle there, they've got 2 slick fielders. Got off to a slow start this year, lost a starting job, but
it was his 10th home run. They have 6 in their lineup today at double figures now in home runs. Speaking of home runs, what a year it has been now for Tommy Pham. Historically good for Tommy Pham. 2 more home runs hit today. Carpenter, 2 outs. Hernan Perez. I've seen that changeup much better here today from Matt Bowman.
yeah, and that's you know, still tied for second in appearances in the National League. Bowman, and tied for 4th with 21 holds. It was just used so frequently, just needed a break.
Only place where he's hit more home runs, Busch Stadium. Tommy Pham, 12 career games here at Miller Park, and now 5 career home runs. One ball and 1 strike. There's a downward action that we talk about with Bowman. A lot of late swings here.
Just, you know, the changeup, you know, throws you off, but his fastball just has great sinking action, a lot of movement to it. Seems like it kind of just bores in on a right-handed batter.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Bowman off the mound and an easy 1-2-3. Cardinals go to the 9th down by a run. 6-5. To know. Brought to you by AARP. Eric Thames, 124 home runs, 3 seasons in the KBO. Hit 349, but today, tough afternoon, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Right now, they're not worried about that. They're worried about defense. They're worried about Knebel, and they're worried about a split. Chevy called to the pen. Corey Knebel is in. He has had an outstanding year, the closer for Milwaukee. The Cardinals will have Molina, Wong, and Voit. And they have been, at least in average-wise, the 3 top hitters against Milwaukee this season. Gotti came in at .340 against the Brewers this year. 0 for 2 with a walk.
Last time Knebel pitched was Sunday and picked up his 29th save with a scoreless 9th inning.
2 pitches, the fastball and curveball.
And they're good. He's not allowed to run over his last 16 appearances. Converted 13 straight save opportunities. Looking for save number 30.
A ball and a strike. Molina 3 for 7 against this right-hander. Two strikes on the Cardinal catcher. So he's throwing near triple digits and then a breaking ball that'll buckle the knees of major league hitters. Saw that on the first pitch to Molina. Two and two. Wong on deck, a .392 hitter against the Brewers. Voit .400. Up the middle, base hit. The tying run is on. A lot of times you think about a Carlos Martinez running maybe in this spot. But he started today's game on the bench for the Cardinals. Still available, Kelly, Piscotty, and Greg Garcia. And it'll be Luke Weaver as the pinch runner for Yadier Molina.
In a couple days, you'd have no problem. Maybe it'd be a Sierra coming in to pinch run. That would be a real difference maker. What do you think about the expanded rosters in September?
Too many.
Well, not only that, but you play 5 months under one set of rules, and then you kind of change the competitive balance depending on how strong your farm system is.
Too many. Here's Colton Wong. Time called.
Man, that's terrible.
Ran it late.
Umpires do that with so little regard to the health of a pitcher. Knebel did the right thing. Just throw it some way. Just see, getting ready to go forward and everything, and that's how pitchers get hurt if they don't throw it. Just trying to stop. It's ridiculous.
Wong is 2 for 4 against this right-hander. Short lead at first by Luke Weaver, last night's starter. And strike 1. I've always thought kind of outside the box with it. Maybe submit a 25-man roster every game, and you're able to interchange the players. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Curveball, a beauty.
And like your idea, like four of your 5 starters are not on the list today, so it gives you 4 extra combination relievers or bench players to play with. I never understood why the 26th man for that game for the Little League.
Inside, 1-2. Oof. Hung that. Ripped by Wong. His eyes lit up.
His 10-game hitting streak stopped last night. 0 for 3 today, but this at bat could make you forget about that.
Second time that Weaver has been used as a pinch runner. Both have been against Milwaukee, both times for Molina.
Like it was a bit inside, and it was.
Now the 2-2. Strikeout of Wong. One away. Tenth strikeout of a Cardinal today. Luke Voigt. He struck out twice and flied to center. First time he's ever faced Knebel. That's it out of play. Oh, 1 pitch. 0-2. Randall Grichuk at the on deck circle.
Hope Luke can get a hanger. Just go up there and commit to a fastball and hope to get it.
Strikeout of Luke Voigt.
Luke thought it was inside. Might have been low. Too close to take.
3 for 5 with a double and a home run against this right-hander, Tommy Pham, our Budweiser player of the game, with a pair of home runs, both 2-run shots. The success for Knebel has been with fastballs up in the zone.
Wicked breaking ball there.
Zach Duke warming up for the Cardinals. Grichuk has homered today. We'll find the seats. 1 ball, 1 strike. A 1-run game here in the top of the 9th. Tying run at first base. That's Luke Weaver. Go ahead run at the plate in Randall Grichuk, who's sitting on 17 home runs. Cardinals down to their final strike. Tyler Lyons gets up to throw, and a crowd of 28,000 plus on their feet.
Good swing there by Grichuk. And you see the numbers that you just talked about. Like to see a home run right here. Give the Cardinals the lead.
Grichuk, high fly ball into center. It's at the wall, and it is caught, and that's how the game ends. A game-saving catch, Broxton. He robs Grichuk. The final of 6-5.
Well, talked for a home run, but did his best impersonation to hit one and You can see Broxton sure is milking it right now, but he made a game-saving catch. He's entitled to it. Goes back. At first I thought he was going to catch it in front of the track, and then he just timed his jump perfectly and brings that ball back into the playing field and ends the game with a home run robbing catch.
A double switch put him in center, and the move pays off in a big way. Knebel to save. The Brewers hold on, and Broxton the play of the day. 6-5 Milwaukee.